What's up, guys? Hey, I just want to give you a quick wrap up from World Supercross in Vancouver. This was awesome. I'll do a full breakdown of the racing action, but this is me just getting back to the Airbnb. I just want to give you guys a little rundown of how the event was and what I thought of it overall. The series is under new management, and I just wanted to I just want to commend them. They did an amazing job. They really did. It wasn't all good, but for the most part, this thing was awesome. Let's start with the Canadian fans. These Canadian fans have been deprived of Supercross for a long time. They were one of the most educated and happy. This was a great fan base. They really understood Supercross. They all seemed super into it, and it was pretty packed. They didn't sell out the upper bowl. They were just trying to get the lower bowl. They know this is the first time back in Canada in a long time, so they said, listen, we're baby steps here. That lower bowl looked pretty packed, and that crowd, for a smaller crowd compared to some Supercrosses, they were loud and they cheered at the right moments. They actually understood the racing, and they were there early getting autographs and just really drinking in the Supercross. They are so happy to have it back here. And the racing action. This format was wild. So the Super Pole, which was awesome. I love how they added overall night point championship points and overall in the night points to Super Pole. That thing mattered. Those guys really wanted to win. It wasn't just for, cookies and ice cream. They needed that to get that overall win. And Roxon and Tomac were just sending it. The 250 guys were sending it. What's crazy, McElrath missed Super Pole, didn't get in there, missed out on the 5 extra points for winning, 3 for second, and I think it's 1 for third. So he didn't get any of those points and still got the overall in the night. McElrath had a good night. I know this format ran the riders to the ground, but I'll tell you what, it was the most exciting night of racing that I've seen in a long time. Every single time they hit the track, it mattered. It mattered for a reason, and it built. And that's the thing about Triple Crowns that kind of get boring, is that third one, they just settle in and kind of finish where they finish. This built. You still had to get into that top 8 to get into that super final, because there's championship points in the super final. And it really did leave for some anticipation. And we all wanted to know what's going to happen when they put 250s and 450s together. It didn't turn out quite like I thought, but a lot of that had to do with the dirt. The dirt was really soft. Anytime you put 450s and 250s on a track that's really soft, the 450 is going to eat them up. When they get to a track that's a little bit more hard packed, it might not be that way. But yeah, the 450s pretty well handled the 250s, but it was kind of cool in that super final. Eli checked out. He's gone. I mean, he won by like a mile, but there's still a battle between McElrath and some of these other guys. The problem was I didn't know where they were at in points. I pulled up the live timing, I couldn't find the overall, and I was paying attention as close as I can, but you got 3 races, this is the 4th race, and now they've mixed in 450s and 250s. There's almost no way to keep track of it. Me and all the fans had no idea who the winners and losers were. I wasn't sure if McElrath had the overall or not. Obviously, I knew Eli did. That was pretty simple math. But, it gets kind of complicated. And I told the guys, listen, you've got to have some sort of a scoreboard that has, lap times as they run. And the other thing they missed, live, was they didn't have a leaderboard. So while you didn't really have to worry about it because there wasn't a lot of lappers, it would have been nice to have that information. And these are things that they can improve on. And they're like, yep, you're right, we need to work on. But this is a new organization. Yes, it's the 3rd year of World Supercross, but this is a completely new organization being run right now. So they're essentially, that was essentially their first run at it this weekend. And for you guys that don't like Vince Friese, you're out of your minds. I think they need a Vince Friese cam. Watching him on the track, this guy is made for this type of racing. He gets those good starts. He's a dog out there. He will not let anyone pass him. If you go on the outside of Vince Friese, take your life in your own hands. But he doesn't get pissed. It come back on him. Mitchell Oldenburg got him. Savacci took him wide and Oldenburg cleaned him out. You don't see Vince whining about it. That's racing. If you dish it out, you can take it. And that's why I'm okay with it. And the dirt. That was the big topic. It's, this dirt's horrible. Why couldn't they get better dirt? Listen, it's the first time they've been to Canada in a long while. A lot of Supercrosses, what they do is they'll store the dirt for a year and, they sift it and then put it back on the track. This is the first time. Brand new dirt. They had to sift it. They got a lot of rocks out of it. But if they come back here, which that is the plan to come back here again next year, they'll sift it. They'll get more rocks out. The dirt will get better. They learn as they go, and especially when you hit a new location in a new country that hasn't had Supercross in a really long time, there's things you have to overcome, and this happens to be one of those things. I like the softer dirt, and listen, it's dirt bikes. There shouldn't always be the exact same conditions at every single track, and it made for some serious challenges out there. They did a great job prepping the track whenever they could, but yes, it got gnarly. Ryan Gauld was the, in-stadium announcer. That dude is made for a microphone. Ryan Gauld is just flat entertainment. He says it, he keeps us informed, he knows what he's talking about, and that's hard as a live announcer to be able to have that, that enthusiasm, but then also have the knowledge. Ryan Gauld has both, and he absolutely crushed it. That had to be one of the best stadium announcing jobs that I've ever heard. It capped off one of the best nights of racing that I've seen. I'm telling you, this format was non-stop fun, and I know the riders were worn out, but I'm sorry guys, I don't care. I loved it. I really appreciated everything that went on. This series has some serious potential, and I really, really hope it keeps growing, and I hope that you guys kind of feel the same way I do and jump on board with this, because the sport needs a series with a business model like this. The business model for World Supercross is they pay the teams much like Formula One does. They give them a percentage so they can grow and build within the series. So it's not just the promoter. So if the promoter makes money, the teams make money, and vice versa. Everybody grows, the sport gets bigger. It's an awesome business model, but then I hear a lot of people saying, well, they paid Tomac and Roczen the start money. Yes, they did, because you have to get those big names. While the series is growing and it's not able to pay those gigantic numbers, yes, you still have to get Tomac, Roczen, and some of these guys that are names to come to your series. So if you have to do that at first, no big deal. And trust me, those guys raced just as hard. Roczen did not want to lose to Eli Tomac. He fought his ass off. But yeah, those guys got their money either way, but the other guys are all racing for their purse money, and it matters where they finish, and it matters for their teams. But as the series grows and there's more money, eventually there'll be enough money that they don't have to pay start money to guys like Tomac and Roczen. They'll just want to be there because it's the biggest series, if it can grow that way. And that's kind of the business plan, and I really hope it gets there, because what this will do is this will force the other series to say, oh, okay, we have to contribute a little bit to the riders too. And that will just make the entire sport better. The only other thing I would change is the DJ. They had this DJ girl up there spinning and fake pushing buttons and acting like she was at a rave. Apparently she's got 500,000 followers on Instagram. I can tell you, I don't think any of them were at this race. This is not her crowd. I don't think that the crowd was, you never know. Somebody might have been on ecstasy, but I don't think the crowd was on ecstasy. It's not the right place for her. I just don't think that's the only thing that didn't really fit in the evening. And I understand they probably brought her in because she had 500,000 on Instagram. Those fans are a little different, but nothing made me feel more out of place than when the DJ was up there spinning and I'm like, do I need glow sticks, drugs? What's going on here? It didn't fit the rest of the night. The rest of the night was so much fun, but the DJ, I'm like, huh? I even looked at a couple people next to me. I'm like, does this feel right to you? And they're like, no, it definitely feels out of place. Like I said, I'll give a full video with all the race action and all the different stuff. I got some raw footage. They gave me some pretty good access to go behind the scenes. So I cruised through, checked out the podium, talked to McElrath, Wilson, Brees, some of these guys. Just when I caught them, I wasn't trying to go get all these interviews. I was just getting some really behind the scenes footage. Here's the raw footage. And yeah, thanks guys. And look for a full race breakdown the next day or two. I'll be heading back to Vegas, and yeah, when I get back to my studio, I'll break it all down. Thank you to Nano-Xtreme, Coach Rob's Store, Epic Garage Designs, Ride Strapped, and Precision Transport. Here's that raw footage, guys. Thanks, and I'll catch you later. Sketchy? Pretty huh? Dude, 4 sessions, the track was garbage. It was scary that last first one. Yeah, right? How are we doing, Mike?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you here.
We softened my bike up going into the night shoot tonight because the track was like super rough earlier. But it was a little bit too soft. And so after the first two mains, the second main I didn't have that good of speed even though I won. We made some changes to the bike back to where we were and then some, and definitely made a good change. So yeah, just it's all about adapting to the racetrack. So you gotta go.
It was all right.
You were up there. You had was the second and third mains. You had issues.
Yeah, first one I came from behind, got in fifth, catching fourth. Drug foot pegs, track got me, and I cased the rhythm and I was fine. But there were so many ruts. When I cased, I landed in ruts, crashed. Bike was bent up 8 laps. Like track bike was like that. So I was like, all right, I'll recoup for the next one. Ripped this good start, second. Rear wheel just like hit a rock off a jump, did a 360. Shifter was bent down. And then the last one I got fifth. So
Shit happens.
I blew it. But it's a bad weekend.
It happens. You rode good though. You look good.
Riding was good.
All right. Later, Dino.
I've been bringing so much spark on the practice track, which is like just crappy to see because it's like it's not showing out there, you know. Like I struggled like a mother fricker the first two, and that's not how I've been riding. Like I've literally been riding like a top 7 guy out there, and that's what's like it's frustrating. I don't know. So I gotta go.
Yesterday, you looked like a top 7 guy in practice.
Yeah, fuck, dude. I've been feeling good. It's just. I don't know.
Keep your head up. Nice ride, Vince.
Yeah, for sure. I mean.
Yeah, we'll find out. There's no way that.